Yesterday and last night was a rough night. I was triggered yesterday, and then I was talking to a friend after on FaceTime and got some distressing news that's not completely related to me per se, but I don't get distressed only by things that relate to me. It relates to being human and sort of distressing unsolved news that relates to some details of my life too. So after talking, I just felt really, really disturbed by that. Really disturbed, and I had trouble sleeping, and I felt so much pain in my body and fear for this news that I heard. So again, life brought me back down to earth. And I'm still distressed by it, and I'm feeling kind of depressed today, and I didn't have a very good sleep. I think the sleep cycle shows I slept better than I did because I was still awake at 1:30, and I had to get up and take 1 extra zinc and 1 extra sunflower lecithin because I took 1 zinc at bedtime and 3 sunflower lecithin, so, or maybe 4, so I had to get up and take the 5th sunflower lecithin. And I did fall asleep, but I didn't go to that breathing workshop this morning because I would have had to get up at like 8 or something. There's one again tomorrow, and I don't know if it's part 1 and part 2. So I might email to ask if I can go tomorrow if I sleep better. And I wanted to go, and that's the thing, like, that happens is when I sort of hit the wall, there's some things I want to go to, and then I don't get to go. And I feel like I can't go. Like last night I felt like, oh man, I just can't drive all that way. It's like a really long drive, probably an hour or so. It's only a 2-hour thing. So I'm kind of feeling like lately I've been doing a lot. I've been seeing a lot of friends, talking to friends on Skype and on the phone and things, getting a lot done, doing everything at once. And I sort of feel like being a bit of a hermit and staying home, saving money on gas. I do have to work on Wednesday, and then just kind of minimizing that sort of thing. It could just be this state of mind talking, and this could be more of the lowest common denominator I was talking about. So yesterday, learning and my brain really energized isn't sustainable, and it was interesting that life brought me down, and that's okay. I'm not saying that in a bad way, because people with so-called bipolar can be in like really creative states, and then someone comes in to talk to them and they snap at them and they're like, well, they're moody. Well, I don't think it's mood. It's just sort of really dissonant or far away levels of consciousness, and that creates the appearance of a mood. So I was in a really heightened state of consciousness, learning, and then learning about things happening in the world is like, oh my God, brings it back down to the world consciousness, like oh my God, like this world is just awful sometimes. And so yeah, today I'm going to take dopamine and rhodiola. These are 2 things I haven't been taking. But since they're supposed to help with depression, I'm going to experiment and see how they make me feel. I don't know if this is the right strategy because I didn't have the best sleep last night. But I'm going to try it anyway and see what happens to my sleep tonight. If my sleep gets even more messed up after taking this today, then I think the strategy is to go with the lower state, like be in the state of kind of depression. because I could say, well, I'll stop taking glycine and taurine or take less of those or some of the calming things. But last night I didn't feel calm. I felt fearful and awful. And so I don't know how much I can boost the depression, and I don't know if I need to. I'm not sure if I'm experiencing trouble like a month and a half before the major crisis, or if it'll sort of be mini crises along the way because of how I'm neutralizing things with the meds or the supplements, or I don't know if it'll be harder because I'm taking the antipsychotics, and that could bring on something worse because it's sort of allowing me to be in more of the fearful energy, but not experience it as much, but part of me is still experiencing it. So it is building up some kind of allostatic load of stress. At least that's what I feel. So it could be worse. I don't know. Or, yeah. I know for sure if I didn't have the supplement strategy, I would have had to take more meds by now. So today I'm going to work on my crisis plan and other things that I need to work on for indoor stuff, and yeah, just see what happens. And that's the other thing with different events that have happened recently. I didn't even have to ask to go to California or wonder if I should. It's sort of obvious now that I'm not going to go to California right now. I will be staying here for the month of May. If I was still feeling really good, maybe, but even then, probably not. So I think that's good to know. And now I can plan this month accordingly. Had I felt continuously good up until now and I decided not to go to California, I'd probably plan a bunch of things to do, but I'll probably keep it to a minimum of being in nature, maybe cleansing my body a bit, like infrared sauna, enema, eating healthy, getting outside, not going too far, hopefully, because I've been driving a lot lately. And settling in and see if I get to a point where I want to talk about those insights or write about them or what. So we'll see what the dopamine boost does. Maybe it'll help me to get the crisis plan done. Because like I was saying yesterday, based on how things were going, I was about to go into the insights and then got brought back down to earth, which is totally fine. And yeah, keep going with supplements, and yeah, I have lots to do, so hopefully this dopamine boost helps me get this last bit of indoor stuff done. And maybe it is a sign to be out in nature, not getting too high into these insights, because then something's going to have to bring me down, back down to earth, back down to the level that is actuality. I was talking about how these insights seem like an epiphenomenon of going up in consciousness, but again, they're not really congruent with the moment. They would be if I was going up with someone else and I was able to talk about them, and then that's why I want to talk about them with myself. And that was helpful when I was doing that. And I would kind of like to do that because now the insights aren't really so much related to ranting about mental health. I feel like I've grown past that a little bit. So that's why it might be nice to talk about that stuff. But that's good enough for now, and I'll talk a little bit more later or make those plans videos later. So I did my crisis plan video, and I'm going to put it next in my videos list here, but I'm also going to put it on my phone where I don't have to have access to internet, because if I go into Sanctuary, the internet connection might not be that good. And I'll also create an audio version probably. I don't know if it's complete, but the rest of it is also practicing what I set up. So I labeled all the supplements that I will take during crisis, like inositol, uridine, and SAMI, brain gastro and alpha GCP, and CDP choline, or GPC, alpha GPC. And there's lots of sound in my brain today. I can really hear that sound, like. And also today I took a cold shower for a couple minutes after my warm shower. I read online that it's good for reducing stress. I think it said it reduces or releases norepinephrine, which probably is the opposite antagonist of epinephrine, which is stress, adrenaline. So I did that today and it felt invigorating. So I'll try to keep up with that. And I've been using a dry brush too to get my circulation going, because once I get all these plans in order, I would like to get back to cleansing my body. And today I took 1 cap of high potency turmeric. It says only take 1 cap a day, which is good because it's a 60 cap bottle. So the $30 bottle will last me 2 months instead of 1. And then I'll take 1 cap of the other stuff that I got in the evening, which isn't high potency, but at least that way I'll use it up. And then another thing I discovered today was that they're now having callouts for the MAPS phase 2 clinical trials of MDMA assisted psychotherapy for PTSD. And I'm going to contact them. I don't know if I'll qualify because I also have a BP diagnosis, bipolar, so that might disqualify me. But I'm still going to try and contact them and see. So yeah, today and yesterday, certain wonderings have become knowings in terms of not going to California, and also booking time off work in June to go into Sanctuary to do what Jason Silva says in his video, The Creative Act, and setting up these crisis plans and doing some computer stuff. So that's what I'm doing today, and I'll put my crisis plan video next in this. And I'm trying to make my videos more like half an hour right now because it's a lot of work to organize all the separate ones. If I do 15 minutes videos, that's twice as much work. So yeah, we'll see if I have more to say on this one, but the crisis video will be next. So my mood has definitely shifted. I don't know if I've officially hit the wall. I don't think so, because usually that's experienced by feeling really suicidal, even just in my brain. But I'm still recovering from being triggered yesterday. I'm wondering if it has anything to do with donating blood, because it's a lot of stress on the body, and maybe I don't have enough oxygen, and so maybe that's lowering the vibration of consciousness. I don't know. And I did take 4,000 milligrams of taurine and 6,000 milligrams of glycine before dinner. And then I also took lithium orotate, 10 milligrams before dinner instead of waiting till after. And I took a liquid vitamin C. And it seemed to help. And then I sat down and I colored for a while. And then I made dinner. I didn't eat all of it. I'm not super hungry. But I was feeling fear and like my brain needs sedating. So I was wondering about taking branched chain amino acids, but I'll see how I sleep tonight, because I did take the tyrosine today. So tomorrow I'm going to do no tyrosine, see if this fear feeling is there tomorrow, and then if it is, I will do branched chain amino acids and see if that neutralizes some of the fear, because that's really uncomfortable. And I'm wondering if the crisis is coming early. I think I was struggling at this time last year. This might have been when the struggles were coming on, and then I started to go off meds. And I'm wondering if I'll lose my executive functioning, because that's sometimes what happens, and then I'm not able to do much of anything. I can't drive, I can't think. So I have all these things listed down to do right now on paper sitting over there, and I might stick them all in Google Keep so they're kept. And then maybe get down to basics. I do want to finish uploading the audio videos to YouTube and organizing that tomorrow if I can, because it's not going to be super warm. But Monday it's going to start being really nice outside, so I think that'll be the clue to getting outside. And then maybe when I am inside, not doing all this brainy stuff, but making music and laying low and resting. And yeah, I just don't know if it's been triggered early. It doesn't feel like a full-blown crisis, but it feels like a lowering of consciousness, that in this lower state of consciousness, I have access to far fewer gestures. Less gestures of wanting to learn. I think I could do it right now. Like, my executive functioning isn't totally gone, but I just don't really feel like I'm in the mood for it. So I'm glad that I did the crisis stuff, the planning, while I was still in the mood. It's almost like in the nick of time I did it, possibly, because this crisis might be coming early. And on Monday, I'll go to Costco and another grocery store and stock up on a few things. I like to make broccoli with Indian sauce and lentils. So if I have the Indian sauce and the lentils and other ingredients, then all I need on a daily basis is kind of like broccoli and spinach for my smoothies. And I'll get more blueberries. So that would be good if I had most of those things, because I could probably get someone to get me broccoli and spinach. So if this isn't a crisis, it's at least a lower state of consciousness, and wondering if I'll be able to fully come out of that or what. And also, if it stays low for a long period of time, then I will maybe get a job, because that's a good time to go out and make some money, I think. I don't know though for sure, because I might feel like I feel like locking myself in a cave right now. Not locking myself in a cave, but just staying away from things. I spent a couple weeks really doing a lot, and I feel like I'm with this bipolar biorhythm. It's not like I can do a lot for weeks and months and months. It's a couple weeks, and then I feel like I have to change and be a totally different person. And it's not like I have to change, it's just there's a change. And I can hear that sound in my brain, so I did do the Muse monitor to see what my brain looked like, and it does look like it's creating quite a bit of sound, and the temporal lobes are quite active again. And my breathing isn't tense really today. I don't think I've had any tense breathing today. So the whole subjective experience or mood tracker doesn't really correlate with the spire. The spire seems to correlate more with when I'm out with other people, like out driving, out visiting a friend. There's some correlation there in terms of mirroring the breathing or who I'm with or what I'm doing. But right now I'm at home and I do feel not good, and the spire isn't picking that up. That cardia thing might pick it up, like my heartbeat. It could be also doing this relaxation audio, could be allowing me to stay relaxed even though these really uncomfortable feelings are filtering through me. I'm not sure. So there's no tense breathing in the physiology, and I think that might be related to the autonomic nervous system. So perhaps I'm in parasympathetic mode, but subjectively I feel stressed. And there's no reason why in this moment now, actually related to my circumstances now, that I should feel that way. So it's the past, it's a thought storm, it's whatever that is. And I did feel a bit more calm after taking the lithium before dinner, so it could also be that I need more lithium. Maybe I do need to take 30, 10 in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, and 10 in the evening, and not 5, 10, and 10, which is what I did today. It's hard to say. And I also wonder if I went too far into meaning, significance, and insight. And Dr. David Bohm wrote an essay called Soma Significance, and it's really fascinating. And I wonder that the more I go into the significance aspect, the further it moves me out of Soma, or if it's too significant and that doesn't quite correlate with the current Soma, the current experience, or the average experience moving through eternity, then perhaps it's kind of distressing to see the significance. And I also wonder if going so far into seeing meaning and significance this way means I'm going to have to see meaning and significance the other way. That's not nice and not good. Feels awful, like the things that I heard about yesterday. It kind of feels like if I was to actually watch the news, which I never do, because it's all bad news and it would make me feel awful. Just like getting 2 bits of bad news and really, really feeling awful about it, like so sensitive to it, and seeing much more significance in it than just the words of the news XYZ or blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, those are nice words, but like really seeing the significance of what that's pointing to. And it's challenging. Maybe by feeling the significance, that's helpful to the collective consciousness somehow. I don't know. I'd like to imagine it so. I remember a couple years ago when I was talking to myself, or whenever it was, talking about Matt Kahn, talking about how he would, when he brushes his teeth, he's like, every time I brush my teeth, I heal 1,000 people in Africa or something. I can kind of see why he would do that, because right now I feel like saying like, oh, every second I feel this pain is healing someone else's pain, or to make sense of it, because why is it here otherwise? Maybe that family constellation lady can help me. And the thing is, if this crisis comes early, I'm not in beauty like I wanted to be. The downward movement is so painful. And it's subtly painful, sort of like how I experienced 2 weeks of subtle pain before my last crisis. It was like October 1st to October 16th or something. So if this subtle pain is here for 2 weeks, that might be enough to make me hit the wall. And maybe it'll happen early May instead of mid-June. In a way, it could be better, because then maybe I'll be on my way out of feeling terrible by June and summertime. I don't know. I feel like saying, please, God, let everyone be okay. People don't want to know how interconnected we are. And I made my crisis plan, transformation plan sheet color-coded, just to sort of break up the areas like, what's that one? Supplements to subtract, adding tranquilizer supplements, the BDNF neuroplasticity ones to continue, knockout supplements and meds, branched chain amino acids, don't forget about that. I do want to try that. And alpha GCP, brain gastrodin, all these things. Once I hit the wall, if I'm in suicidal depression, what to do. You know, if I start feeling suicidally depressed, which I thought I was going to experience after I hit the wall, like a big hitting of the wall, then I would start to take these now if I start feeling that way. See what happens. One good thing is, even though my consciousness state has lowered, I haven't gotten any arguments with anyone or anything yet. I'm wondering if I can keep this all to myself. I did go out for a little walk, and it did feel a little bit better to do that. And tonight I'll do my brain training, relaxation, and just sort of lay low. I got really organized today, but now I'm not really feeling like doing anything that I wrote down to do. So we'll see how I feel tomorrow. Today I woke up feeling depressed. We'll see if I wake up feeling depressed again. And I'd rather stay depressed than boost dopamine and then feel fear. Depression isn't as bad as fear. So that's where I'm at. I do have a bunch of insights written down. I wonder if going into any of them would make me feel a little bit better. We'll see what happens tomorrow.